Tell us a little bit more about the Tea Party and your part in that.
Well, actually, the first annual Tea Party was last year, and I got to start that through Americans for Prosperity, which is a little bit more of a fiscally conservative watchdog group. So you get a lot of the social conservatives in there as well. But I think it's a great opportunity for people who are a lot more libertarian to go in and calmly shift them back to the focus of the Constitution. And that's really what the message of the Tea Party is that we have gone so completely astray from the United States Constitution that most people don't even know what it represents, what it's about, what are our rights. And we consistently allow the government to chip away and chip away and chip away at our rights. For instance, guns, smoking. I mean, any of those things that are politically popular. And eventually, you hear that comment, first they came for these people and I wasn't one of them, so I didn't speak up. And eventually they came for me and there was nobody to speak up.
To me, liberty is actually something that's spiritual. I mean, it's based on like God-given rights. Man or mammon doesn't give you these rights. You're born with them.
Absolutely.
And I watched your interview with Rick Emerson, the smoking debate, as soon as I invited you on, and I'm glad a friend asked me to have you on because I love having Liberty candidates on, but you made a lot of good points, a lot of points that I've made with people. Who was it, how was it their authority to tell an owner of a bar what you can or cannot do in your own establishment? And so a lot of people are going, oh, but I want to be healthy, or I'm going to get sick, or I'm going to get cancer if I, well, I mean, I think that's that person's responsibility to not work in that environment. And smoking definitely is hazardous. I struggle with it off and on, but if you don't want to be there, you shouldn't work there.
Well, I guess their major argument was the idea that employees of these places, because, jobs are at a premium. And this was even before the big financial crisis where, well, around that time, but well before unemployment was hitting an all-time high. So the idea really is that this nanny state is taking care of you, and they know better than you do as to what it is that, how it is that you should take care of your health. And we see it with big fast food, where they were trying to sue fast food companies, because they're putting in extra ingredients that make you fat or that make you want to eat, and say, come on, guys. We know that the best way to healthcare is diet and exercise, right? We don't really want a situation where the government's coming in and telling you, you can't smoke here, you can't eat this, you can't do that. When is it that they're going to get to something that you truly do care about?
Let's get into what's going on with the state of Oregon, being that this is a national show but also a local show. Your thoughts on the state of Oregon or the governor, the way things are going right now, things that you see perceived to be terribly wrong at this point?
Okay, first and foremost, we have constitutionally mandated programs, which basically say, in the Constitution, these programs you must fund. It's no coincidence, in my opinion, that they fund those programs last. Now, why? I mean, you would ask yourself, wouldn't those be the most important, so wouldn't you fund them first? First off, we have these two measures called Measure 66 and 67, which raised the corporate income tax and the federal, or in the income tax for individuals, but only at the highest level because they're politically unviable, the rich people, right? So the idea here is that if you fund these programs that nobody really cares about first, and then you get to the programs that they really do care about, well, like education, law enforcement, transportation, those are pretty important programs. And if we run out of money for those, naturally we're going to go ahead and raise taxes for them. And it's just, in my opinion, a big operation that basically says that this is how we get more money out of the pockets of people, because, well, we don't want the kids out on the streets. We don't want
schools. That's always the number one excuse.
It's always taxes for schools, and we never want, you don't want those prisoners out on the streets, hurting grandmother because we had to kick her out on the street, and then the kids that are on the streets, and these criminals are now going to sell the drugs to these kids. It's just this whole PR campaign against that. How many different
types of taxes are they proposing in Oregon right now? There are so many. I mean, the nicotine to saying cigarette taxes. By the way, the rolling tobacco, that went up 1,200%. Ironically, that's less harmful than the Camel packs. But the taxes really went up, and a lot of people at the bars here in Portland going, what is the state doing to us? Then there are suggestions that they start taxing this on a federal level, Coca-Cola products and things of that nature. So how much stuff are they planning on right now in terms of taxing us?
Well, really what you got to ask yourself is, what is politically viable to tax? What is unpopular, really, and what they call a sin tax? And the sin tax is on all of those things that people say, oh, we don't really need to do that.